Okay, I'm just going to add Rosie. Hopefully that's going to do the thing. Hello, everyone.
I've requested, but will it be accepted?
There you are.
Oh, great.
Am
Oh,
I the wrong
well
way up
done. You
on
made it
yours?
work. I was panicking for a second, but you did it. You made it work. Oh, wave. Hello, Annie. Hi.
Hi Emma.
Thanks for
Is this
joining us. And
on
can we
your
see?
screen? Rosie,
Hmm?
on your screen, am I the wrong way up?
You're like sideways.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Am
using
I
this stand.
sideways for you?
No, you're there we go. I'm the right way too now.
Have you just turned your laptop?
My phone, yeah. I'm using a fancy stand that's my housemate's.
Oh, Flo's there. Hi, Flo. Wow, we can see everyone's messages. This is great.
Isn't
Okay,
that
well, thanks for joining Not My Monkeys podcast on our first ever live Instagram
whoop
video.
whoop whoop?
Um,
We don't know
this
how it's gonna go, so bear with us.
we don't. But this is mostly a test because next week we'll be doing a live interview with an amazing circus writer. You might have heard of her already or know of her work. Should we keep it a secret as to
I think we should keep it a secret.
Okay, we'll keep it a secret, but let's just
Maybe for a
say
couple of
that
days.
a very cool person will be our guest next week, and she's going to be answering
Yeah.
questions about criticism of circus shows and like writing for circus shows. And oh, Marco's here too for a quick good night.
Night night,
Good
Marco.
night, Marco.
That's my cousin. Marco's my cousin.
That's so cute. I love
Bye,
it.
Marco.
I'm trying to promo a show here, Ruby. You're getting all your cousins involved.
Yeah,
I'm
so
joking. It's great to see you,
next
Marco.
week, Thursday the 10th, we're
Oh
going to be
yeah, Thursday
doing
the
a
10th. We know the date.
Facebook Live interview with a very special guest that we will be announcing soon. But in the meantime, we thought it'd be a good idea because Rosie recently got a new circus magazine, I got a new book, and we thought we'd come and talk about them,
Mhm.
especially because the holidays are coming up, so you might want to buy circus books for yourself or for someone else.
Mhm.
And yeah, so
It's
we
a
thought
good
we'd do a
time to
little
talk about
virtual book
books.
club vibe.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
virtual book club. We're only going to be like probably only like 15, 20 minutes. So, if you want to
Mhm.
see what our cool circus book collections are, then hang around. If you don't.
But
So,
please do. Also, yeah, if you have any questions or anything, just pop them in the chat and we'll do our best to see it and answer them.
we'll answer
Um,
all questions. I'm gonna,
but
just as we start, I'm gonna turn
yeah.
my camera around because what
Ah.
I've done, if I can do that, switch around. Yeah, I can. I've just decided to lay out all the books about juggling that I have and
I'll
magazines as well. So obviously there's some quite, this is one Juggler's World, so obviously people might not remember that one, but that one is there. I've got volume 39 of the winter of 1987 to 88. A lot of books from UK writers, American writers, European things, just lots really. That's not really a book, but hey, the magazine joined just as
the
the
newest
camera was on.
one. Wow, perfect
It
timing.
knows.
You've definitely shown me up. I don't have that many circus books. And if I do, I've often not read them. But here is my collection.
Wow.
Um,
Take us
and
through each one, Ruby. You
oh
go
God.
first.
This is the one I'm going to talk about the most. I'm really excited about thinking through circus.
Hmm.
I also really, really like this book, Provocation in Popular Culture by Bim Mason, who runs Circomedia.
Oh
This
yeah, he's a
one,
great guy.
this one is one that someone bought me because it's a book about circus. So it's like, I'm going to buy
Hmm.
you a present that's a book about a circus.
Do you get
Um,
that as well? I get people buying me circus related things all the time, especially juggling balls or sets of juggling balls because they know that you can juggle. And it's like that's definitely the one thing I already have
See, I can't juggle,
of
so
all the
luckily
things.
I do not get that.
No, no. Does anyone ever buy you like a trapeze for Christmas?
I mean, that would be great. I would not be upset about that. They are expensive. Um, I want to hear about Yana magazine, which is the magazine you just showed us, and you can see that they're with us at the moment. Did you just got
Uh-huh,
it the
I
other day?
will. I
Have you had a
just
chance
received
to
it in
look
the
through
post
it
the other day.
properly?
I turned my camera back around to show people the beautiful cover, and everyone that
Ooh.
I've been on the phone with over the last few days has had the experience of me talking about it. and being like, "Ooh, it feels great, it smells great," and something
It
that me and
smells
Chaz
great.
only just noticed. Yeah, do you not really like that sort of fresh print book smell? You know what
Okay,
I
yeah.
mean? That kind of thing. I dig it anyway. Look at this. As the light catches, wow. 531, and then when the light isn't catching it, it
Ah,
shows 1.
whoa. What's the 5-3?
Can I? So that's a site swap notation. And can I
Ah.
just say that me and Chaz were absolutely loving that. We were like, "Oh no way! They've thought of everything. They've thought of everything." Like we're so nerding over just that one little
Juggling
detail. I haven't
references
even opened the
everywhere.
front cover yet, and we were already like freaking out over it. Oh, it's actually it's actually on the spine as well, and you can see it way clearer. I've just
Oh, that's cool.
never
It's a good thick, that's a
pointed
good
that
thick
out.
magazine. Like it's got lots
Oh,
of
it's
pages.
so
It's
it's
like,
so much thicker than I thought it would be. It's
mm,
so much of a high quality. I don't want to show a lot of what's inside it, but just a quick flick through. There's so much stuff. I haven't been able to
mm.
read it all yet. My favorite picture is this picture on the back here. As you know, I love pigeons, so I'm so happy to see
That's
a
great.
pigeon and a juggling club in the same picture. But there's some fantastic photos from Sean Blue.
Mm.
There's some great interview questions in there that will make you laugh, make you think. It's just nice that there's something about juggling that isn't about performing or isn't just facts about who did what and when. I'd say the price is good for something this thick and this high quality. And if you're looking for something for someone, Christmas or birthday, it's a real nice gift, and you could get it
Mhm.
posted straight to them, nice and easy. Did you
Flo
notice
says,
the
did you notice the ladder notation on the table of contents?
Oh
Let's
my
have a look.
God, right.
Take us to the contents.
Oh, now that's so crazy because okay,
You're
I
gonna have to
think
explain this to
that's
me.
what we've got on our stairway. We've got like
Do you have
we
juggling
painted our
notations on
stairs
your
with
stairway?
notation. I don't want to show off my whole house really on live, so I'm just gonna.
That is
But that's such a
so.
weird coincidence
You
that
are
the
such a
colours are
juggling
kind of the
nerd.
same as well as our wall. Ah, that's so funny. I love
That's
it.
cool. So
Fantastic.
what kind of notation is
Ah.
that? Because not site swap, site swap's numbers,
So
right? So it's
you
the
know what? You're asking the wrong person, to be honest. It was
okay.
Tiff that got to decide that kind of stuff. But you know what?
Ah, it's
We can
another
talk
five
about
three
that
one.
in another video. I've gone on too long about something, and now
No, you
it's
haven't.
Ruby's turn to show us a book that she likes. So
All
go
right.
ahead, Ruby.
Well, this book, Thinking Through Circus, which is
Mhm.
probably, is it backwards for you? I think it might be.
Yeah, but,
Um,
I can figure it out.
yeah, it's an it's a book. It's kind of academic, but why I really like it is that it is quite accessible and it's really like playful and fun. So it's got like 10 sounds like I'm sponsored, doesn't it? We're not being paid to do this at all.
No, we're not.
If only. um, but it's like that came out of an artistic research project called the Circus Dialogues, and it's like 10 dialogues between various artists and makers of circus. um, and yeah, it's really fun. I'm going to show you some of what it looks like. So it's like purple, green on the front. I've spilt something on the front there.
Mhm. Yeah, do all
Which
the copies come with
about,
that amazing stain
but
across
it's
the
got
front?
this like green text on the white background, and it's got all these fun
It looks
bits,
like it uses handwriting as
pictures.
its font as well, quite a lot.
It does
Oh,
have
that's
some
exciting.
bits. So what's cool about it? Look, it's even got like a graphic novel in the middle of it,
Oh,
which is
amazing.
really cool. So it's got like bits where so it talks about like anthropocentrism, which is the idea that the human is at the center of everything. And in circus, that's things like humans' dominance over equipment or over animals and stuff, and they're trying to like dispute that and talk about collaborating with your equipment and things like that. And so the notations, what's the word? No, the footnotes in one of the sections starts arguing with the main text. So it's quite like creative in that way. And it's some bits are like transcripts of a conversation, or it's like, yeah, interesting drawings, or where one person's written an essay and then someone else has like written notes on it and they've just kept those notes for you to look at. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I really like it, and it's sort of looking at kind of maybe some of the problems in contemporary circus, or like it looks at like queer theory and just ideas of yeah, what's good about it, what's bad about it, maybe things we need to change, kind of looking at different things in practice. I guess the main thing that I really liked is it's talking about, so the title is Thinking Through Circus. So it talks
Yeah.
about, we often have like thinking about circus and then practicing circus and think of them as two separate things. And this is kind of trying to dispute that and say that they are smushed, like it's an embodied practice. You don't just make circus and then just like put thoughts on top of it. You like think through practice, which is really cool. So yeah, I really, really like that book. That's what I've been reading over lockdown. And I'm definitely going to read it again. It's quite dense. There's
Hold
a lot.
up the
Well,
cover
there's a
for
lot
us again.
Say that again.
Hold up the cover again.
Okay.
So we can keep seeing it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Thinking through circus.
I was really upset when I spilled something on the cover because it's such a pretty book. And it's on the spine as well. Look, oh, iridescent spines. That's the theme of the day.
It is. Wow, what a great theme to have. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ruby. That book does sound great. For sure, you and me are going to be doing a little swap of books after this.
Yeah, we should
because
definitely
Thinking Through Circus sounds just like my kind of thing. I love essay type things on theory and stuff like that. And I know that you've mentioned a lot of what the themes are in that to me before, and it's all very, very interesting. So hopefully.
Yeah, and it's nice that it's, for me, like I struggle to sit down and read something, but it's in like short segments and chapters, so you can read a bit at a time, which is nice. And it's got people like Val Clevens, who wrote the Open Letters to Circus, which if you've heard of those, if not, you should check them out. And it's kind of all out of that research project, but yeah, it's very cool. We will post links to all of the things that we talk about and maybe where you can buy them if you want to buy them, or like where you can look up the people when we post this on our Instagram TV.
Yeah, so if you're watching
if
on
we can
Instagram
work out
TV,
that, which hopefully we
follow
can.
the links. Yeah.
Yes, they'll be underneath probably.
We'll post it somehow. We'll figure it out how to do it. Okay, I'm gonna. You know what I should do now? I should take you through the books that I have here, kind of in a vague order. So I'm gonna start. Obviously, I just talked about this magazine, which is brand new. It's only just been released a few I think available a few weeks ago, but it's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hot off the press, yes. I'm starting with the hot off the press things. And then going back to the thing that I received. So I received this last year from Tom Wall. This is from the Modern Vaudeville Press. This is a history of juggling from, like as it says, from antiquity to the Middle Ages. So you start with, it even gives a really nice timeline right at the start. You're starting in Egypt times. You're looking at Neolithic, before modern human sort of depictions of juggling, all the earliest things, all the way up to the Middle Ages. And I wonder if Tom will ever release one Middle Ages onwards. That would be interesting. It's the Indie Book of the Year award winner last year. So I got 2 stickers on mine, 3 stickers on mine. I could put as many stickers on as I wanted. Yeah, I highly recommend this book.
Nice.
I really, really enjoyed reading it, and it made it so easy to read. I have a lot of books that trawl you through who did what, when they did it, how they did it, what did they use. And they're actually, from a reading point of view, really difficult to get through a lot of the time, because a lot of them are fact-based, a lot of them are just names, dates, numbers. And this one really, it brings history a bit more to life. It gives you a lot more context to what it's doing. So it's this is the Egypt that we're looking at, and this is what was being depicted then and there. So that's really good.
So it's not just dry history that's hard.
Exactly, yeah. And I know that there's a time and a place for each kind of writing. So I'm happy that these kind of things exist. I'm happy that these kind of things exist. They all are needed. And another thing that I received last year was this book, which is called War Circus. This is a collection of the lives of the international circus community from 1914 to 1918, so the time of the Great War. Lottery funded book from Circus Central. It's you can receive it as a donation if you're just purely interested, but essentially it charts names and dates of every single circus performer they could find and what they did during the war. It's what did circuses do?
For free? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I got it donated so that it was when I ran
Awesome.
an event so that people could read it at the event. So it was like out on a table all the time and people could flick through it. So it was kind
Nice.
of like a community thing. I think I actually got 2 copies and I donate one to my local library. You can do
Awesome.
various things with it, like donate it to libraries or
Yeah.
request schools. You are welcome,
Joe
Joe
says,
Dinoto.
yeah, you are
You're
welcome.
welcome.
And hi, everyone that's joined.
Yes, hello, and thank you for joining us. I have
You've
a lot
shown me
of
up with your collection. You have a lot of books.
books, but they are all
Was there
about juggling.
another
but
juggling
not-
magazine that you
Yes,
had
quite
editions
old,
of?
called
Like an
Juggler's
old one.
World.
Juggler's World. Okay.
I've got a few copies from the 80s, a few from the 90s, as you can
Mhm.
see. There we go, Trixie, one of my top gals. Woo woo! Go Trixie. So she's on there. This magazine mostly was known for posting like writings from people, so like notable jugglers writing, oh look, a Dutch star rises in St. Thers or something like that. And then there'd also be fun little things about the events happening around the world. So there might be an advert or two in it. It's just sort of an interesting little, oh there, look, see, we all sell you juggling props and things like that. And
Probably
people
out of
meet it.
date phone number by now.
When are the meetings? Yeah, exactly. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then cute little drawings. It was just quite a cute little magazine
sounds
that
cool.
ran for a while. We have here, I will mention this one because this one is popular at the moment amongst jugglers. It's called Pearls of Juggling, and it's written by Anthony Trehair, I want to say, or Trehair, who I've met only a few times at events, but it's like a theosophical view of how to train and enjoy juggling. So I think this is a book that you should get for someone who wants to get better at juggling. Maybe they're not just interested in the history or facts or anything, but Pearls of Juggling will probably help you with some learning techniques, and things like Tactile by Luke Wilson are essays on.
I think
Obviously,
I've seen
you'll have seen this one. One of the most famous jugglers out there, Luke Wilson, posthumously collected. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but essentially a lot of his writings and thoughts on what's good practice and like what is juggling. Yeah, it's quite like a non-factual in that it's just opinion-based sort of stuff.
theory and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Then I got a whole range from the IJA David Kane selection. So we've got everything from history of juggling to, so those ones are TIFFs that he got, and they're all things like juggling props throughout history, juggling greatest history, uncovering the juggling history, and then the ones that I was given, great female jugglers of the past. Now that's interesting. No, I definitely chose out of the selection to pick up these two because I noticed they were the two that Tiff did not pick up. So I was like, seems like you might have a bit of a one-sided book collection there, Tiff. Maybe I'll buy you, I don't know, just the ones with the women on the front as well, and you might enjoy that. Who knows? Daniel Holtzman's new book came out last year as well, I think, or the year before, maybe, actually, as I'm maybe thinking a bit further past. Just
So
loads of tricks.
what is your favourite? That's the real question.
You're right, that is the real question. I haven't finished reading this yet, so I don't know where it's going to place. I've only read
what kind of thing is in that one? I want
to
to know more about what is inside.
What's actually in it?
Magazine, yeah.
It's very
It looks quite visual. There are lots of pictures and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of interviews or like sort of there's some long sort of pieces from people, but then there's also a few like things that are just a page long where they like just get to ask a few people 1 or 2 questions, and there's some things where some jugglers have been asked questions but they have to reply with a photograph. So that's quite cool.
That's cool.
You know, like who likes juggling the most, or what would be your next trick that you want to learn, like, you know, and then they take a photo of something in their life that's like inspiring them or connected to the question. That's a real cool idea. I love that. Yeah, just a lot of again, show it because I don't think we're at the point where people are allowed to see everything in the magazine, but there's a lot of imagery, there's a lot of art, there's a lot of just kind
it
of
makes me think about there's this I can't remember what they're called, but someone who I follow on Instagram called Strange Wonderful Creature, who's a contortionist and stuff, they were talking about this idea of like slow circus, and they make informative little booklets. I haven't got my hands on one yet because they're in Canada, but I would like to. But yeah, like short little booklets, and kind of about, kind of like the thing the Yana magazine's doing is kind of making a visual version, like circus through text or through magazine, which I think is really cool. Like it's not just about it, it is it. Like
it is it, yeah. I think that's
yeah.
what's really cool about this particular magazine, is that it's not trying to represent anything. Like it's not being like, oh, this is a show but put into text. It's like, this is the art form itself of juggling represented as a
in images
magazine. By images.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Cool.
So I'm trying really hard to make sense.
That does make sense. Like, what is juggling as an image, or what is
or like
philosophical
it's
article.
so hard to think of it as something that doesn't have to be performed, which like so many of these books, again, if I turn the camera around and like show you, like so much of what, like all of those are just focusing on the bits of this whole book. It's just about her life when she performed juggling. There's obviously so much of her life that wasn't that, and she must have been so passionate about the art form and about circus in general, and it doesn't hit on any of that. That's not to say that's a fault, but that's definitely a kind of book in the, it's just saying the facts. She did this, she toured here, that's that. And then you have to go to other books to find people's like heart and soul, their love and their like caring for the profession itself. Also, what is up with the title Juggling the Past and the Future? He has not said any future jugglers. He didn't drop any names of being like, there will be a child born in 2025 that will be able to juggle. Like, you can just,
I mean, so
present dude.
Joe in the comments has just said, Joe in the comments said, would it be fair to say Yana is a glimpse into the creative process of jugglers?
That, Joe, is an excellent suggestion, and I think I would care to agree. I think that is a lot of what it shows. There's actually a section in there that are notebook pages taken out of a juggler's like kind of notes for their performing and notes for their trick designing, which I'd say are probably very valuable to certain kinds of jugglers who would like that insight into how it's, what's the thought process when you're thinking of that trick. He kind of draws it and writes notes, but it has its own kind of language to it, so it is really interesting to see that bit as well.
It's like you were saying a lot of them are sort of more talking about focusing on the performance and sort of the history of the performance of circus, which obviously is super important and a massive part of it, but circus isn't just a performance, it's also a practice, which is why I like this book. I'm going to hold it up again for anyone who hasn't heard me talk about
hold it up again.
Earlier. So it's called Thinking Through Circus, and I think it's really good because it does talk about relationship to audience. It kind of interrogates lots of relationships, so relationship to audience, but also your relationship to your equipment, kind of your internal relationship with circus. And it's less about, it's more for people who do circus or are interested in circus to think about their practice and like how they can create work and how they can create work that reflects their values, as much as it's less like, okay, this is what happens in a performance. Which I think is really interesting. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and we will post links to some of the books that we're talking about. Rosie has shown me up with her massive collection, but another book that I have read.
Yeah, go ahead, show us. I'd like to see the other ones
that
you
I really
have.
liked is it's a good picture. I like this picture.
That's fantastic.
This is Bim Mason's Provocation in Popular Culture. So Bim Mason, he's the head of Circomedia and one of the co-founders, but he does a lot of provocative work, so stuff that's kind of on the edge. He's one of the co-founders of Circomedia, which is
in the UK.
Yeah, a circus
just in
uni
case
at
anyone
Bristol.
didn't know that. Yeah, the Bristol Circus
Context
University.
is good. But what's interesting about it is that it touches on circus because that's obviously his area of experience, but it also goes wider in sort of provocative performance in other ways. So he talks about people like Sacha Baron Cohen, he talks about Banksy. He talks about like Pussy Riot. So he's really like talking about political, provocative performance that people have made throughout history, and people like Archaeos, who we mentioned in our last episode, and
One of the best circuses ever.
yeah, objectively fact.
Just putting that fact in there. Well, I mean, maybe I should have said my favourite, but I'll just substitute that with best. It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's good. You can see I've done a lot of like underlining in this book.
A lot of studying going on there.
The role of the fool, kind of going back to like jesters and things, but also then the role of the fool now, like why that's important to have a character that's the outside looking in and criticizing in that way, or mockery, and yeah, lots of different ways throughout history that that's been done. Kind of talking about the edge of play and improvisation. It's got a really good picture here of Bim's big heads, which are these street theatre things that he made. Yeah, so it's just a good overview, and I think if you were thinking about making kind of provocative work, or work that's trying to make people uncomfortable but for a reason, yeah, it's a good one to get. So yeah, one more time, Provocation in Popular Culture by Bim Mason. Yeah, like that. Also,
you are welcome, Joe. There is lots of books and names to research. We will hopefully link most of them after the video, and we're glad that you're enjoying it. Thank you.
For sure. We on our last episode 4, Myths and Misconceptions, we interviewed Dr. Kate Holmes, who has a crazy amount of knowledge about circus history, and she gave us some ideas of sort of books that you could look at, or other resources. So we also, if you go onto our website, notmymonkeyspodcast.com, you can look on episode 4, and on the further reading we've got links to some of the books that she suggested. But also, if books aren't even your thing, we've also got links to videos and like Pathé newsreels, and yeah, things. It's really cool to watch videos of circus of the past. There's one that we linked, which is a swinging trapeze artist who, without a lunge, just like with a net, was just doing some crazy stuff. It's really cool to watch circus from the past. I've also got another book that I've got here, which is called The Greatest Show on Earth by Linda Simon, A History of the Circus. Is a history book, but what's nice about it is it does have a lot of pictures.
Oh, lovely colour pictures of old circus. I love old circus posters so much. I've especially got a fondness for Polish ones, or ones from like Russia and things like that. Like from.
I mean, look at this one where there's like geese or on a teeter board.
On a seesaw. That's so cute.
I'm not really sure what's going on there.
I don't know what that guy's doing in the back with those chickens, but doesn't look legal.
There's also a horse. Yeah.
That is clearly a donkey.
So it's a... Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Yeah, there's lots of visuals as well as some history. So yeah, if you're not into like dense academic texts, then there is lots of nice visual stuff there that you can start out with as well. And yeah, look on our episode 4 further reading, because there's some good stuff. Kate is a good person. She gave us a lot of nice history.
Fantastic research that we can get hold of. Yes, good stuff. Well, one last time I'm going to just show all the different books that I have, and hopefully people will be able to see the titles vaguely, and also who wrote them, like the Alexander Kiss biography, like his actual notes.
Oh wait, what was your favourite? Did you say what your favourite was?
Did I even say what my favourite was? Did I even get to that?
I'm gonna tell me your favourite.
You know what I'm gonna pick is I'm gonna pick this one because just because I really like whizzed through it so fast, so I know that means that I enjoyed reading it.
Tell us the title and who it's by again.
From Antiquity to the Middle Ages by Tom Wall, and that's through what's called Modern Vaudeville. Hang on, I won't be able to. Yeah, Modern Vaudeville Press. So you can find that online, and I would recommend that's just if we have to choose a book that's sort of fit for anyone who's interested in circus history or specifically juggling, then this is the one to grab. I know that his company has a lot of other exciting things coming out soon which I'm not allowed to say what they are yet because they'll be releasing them soon. But some very, very exciting stuff will be coming out from Modern Vaudeville Press, so that's good to follow anyway. Yeah.
Cool. Have you got any books or magazines, etc., that you want to get for Christmas, or that you would like to read that you know about?
Oh, I always have like a big wish list of like books and magazines that I really, really want to read, especially regarding this topic. At the moment, the thing is that I actually, if you'd asked me about my film books, I have like a whole shelf about books and how filming works as well. So things about how to
Stay on topic, Rosie.
in the blink of an, things like that. So there's always a big crossover for me between books
circus and
that
film.
have information about how film and the image works and how like visual performance works. There's one called if it's the color purple, then it means someone's going to die, and it's about how color visualized in front of people in certain settings invokes very strong emotions connected specifically to that color, and it's about investigating how that's been used throughout film history since color film. And it also just sounds really, really interesting for live performance as well, because there's a lot of crossover there. So that one's at the moment top of my list. But yeah, how about you? Is there any that you would really like to...
No, I realised that I asked you that question and you were just going to be back, and then was like, oh no.
You didn't...
just
that whole time like panicking.
I can't think of the names of anything, apart from, Strange Wonderful Creature on Instagram. We're releasing these cool little books. I'll post the link when I find out what they were called.
I'd be interested in seeing them. That sounds cool.
They look really interesting. They're kind of like thoughts on visual circus, and they seem like quite nice little mini booklets, so they're not like too dense or anything. I know that there's been a few relatively recently about what was the one called? Not sure. Something about contemporary circus, but I just want to like...
It was such an informative...
This is my favourite. Shut up.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, read this. If you do circus, you should read this. And if you don't, I think you'd probably still find it interesting. But yes, here's a really good picture that I'll show you to end with, that I just opened on the book by accident. Someone foot juggling brains. Isn't that brilliant?
Brains! Oh my god. That's actually really cool. I like that picture.
Yeah.
It's not called... I think it's called antipodism when it's juggling with your feet and you're lying on your back.
Yes, that is the word, antipodism. Antipodism.
Oh, how do you say it? I always say
I say antipodism, but I don't know if that's right. By the way, that picture was by Aileen Brooker. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that, but hopefully that was right. Anyway, it's a good book. So we'll post the links of the stuff that we've talked about.
Well,
stuff that
we promised. Anyway. We've only said it 800 times. We'll do
try.
it, I swear.
We'll do it, okay? Stop pressuring us.
Okay. Well, that was a good
chat.
chat.
Stay tuned for our Facebook Live interview next week with our secret guest that we'll be reviewing.
An amazing writer, an amazing critic of circus.
Thursday the 10th. That's when.
Thursday the 10th.
We've said too much already. Yes. See you there. All right. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for watching.
For joining us. Yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, but not right now. Later. Peace. Bye.
Bye.